सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रव संयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम यों तत्प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवण त्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कंदः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अतः त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः। द्विज उवाच। Today we will almost conclude this, so let us do the chanting of this complete Bhikshu Gita from verse 43. Dvija uvacha Nayam jano me sukha dukkha hetuhu न देवतात्मा ग्रह कर्म कालाः मनः परं कारणमामनन्ति संसार चक्रं परिवर्तयेद् यत् मनोगुणान् वै सृजते बलीयः ततश्च कर्माणि विलक्षणानि शुक्लानि कृष्णान्यथ लोहितानि तेभ्यः सवर्णाः श्रुतयो भवन्ति अनीह आत्मा मनसा समीहता हिरण्मयो मत्सक उद्विचष्टे मनः स्वलिंगं परिगृह्य कामान् जुषन्निबद्धो गुणसङ्गतोऽसौ दानं स्वधर्मो नियमो यमश्च श्रुतं च कर्माणि च सद्व्रतानि सर्वे मनोनिग्रहलक्षणान्ताः परो हि योगो मनसः समाधिः समाहितं यस्य मनः प्रशान्तं दानादिभिः किं वद तस्य कृत्यम् असंयतं यस्य मनो विनश्यत् दानादिभिश्चेदपरं किमेभिः मनोवशेन्येहि अभवन् स्म देवाः मनश्च नान्यस्य वशं न समेति भीष्मो हि देवः सहसः सहीयान् युञ्जाद्वशेतं स हि देवदेवः तं दुर्जयं शत्रुमसह्य वेगम् अरौन्तुदं तन्न विजित्य केचित् कुर्वन्त्यसद्विग्रहमत्र मर्त्यैः मित्राण्युदासीनरिपून् विमूढाः देहं मनोमात्रमिमं गृहीत्वा ममाहमित्यन्धधियो मनुष्याः येषोऽहमन्योऽयमिति भ्रमेण दुरन्तपारे तमसि भ्रमन्ति जनस्तु हेतुः सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनश्चात्रैः भौमयोस्तदा किम जिह्वां क्वचित् सन्दर्शति स्वदद्भिः तद्वेदनायां कथमाय कुप्येत दुःखस्य हेतुर्यदि देवतास्तु किमात्मनस्तत्र विकारयोस्तत् यदङ्गमङ्गेन निहन्यते क्वचित् क्रुध्येत कस्मै पुरुष स्वदेहे आत्मा यदि स्यात् सुखदुःखहेतुः किमन्यतस्तत्र निजस्वभावः न ह्यात्मनोऽन्यद् यदि तत् मृषा स्यात् क्रुध्येत कस्मात् न सुखं न दुःखं ग्रहानिमित्तं सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनोजस्य जनस्य ते वै ग्रहैर्ग्रहस्यैव वदन्ति पीडां क्रुध्येत कस्मै पुरुषस्ततोऽन्यः कर्मास्तु हेतुः सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनस्तद्धि जडा जडत्वे देहस्त्वचित् पुरुषोऽयं सुपर्णः क्रुध्येत कस्मै न हि कर्ममूलं कालस्तु हेतुः सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनस्तत्र तदात्मकोऽसौ नाग्नेर्हि तापो न हिमस्य तत्स्यात् क्रुध्येत कस्मै न परस्य द्वन्द्वं न केनचित् क्वापि कथञ्चनास्य द्वन्द्वोपरागः परतः परस्य यथा महः संसृतिरूपिणः स्यात् एवं प्रबुद्धो न बिभेति भूतैः एतां समास्ताय परात्मनिष्ठाम् अध्यासितां पूर्वतमैर्महर्षिभिः अहं तरिष्यामि दुरन्तपारं तमो मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिनिषेवयैव श्रीभगवानुवाच निर्विद्य नष्टद्रविणो गतक्लमः प्रव्रज्य गाम्भर्यटमान इत्थं निराकृतो सद्भिरपि स्वधर्मात् अकम्पितो मुम्मुनिराह गाथाम् सुखदुःखप्रदो नान्यः पुरुषस्यात्मविभ्रमः मित्रोदासीनरिपवः संसारस्तमसः कृतः तस्मात् सर्वात्मनारातात निगृहाण मनोधिया मय्यावेशितया युक्तः एतावान् योगसंग्रहः य एतां भिक्षुणा गीतां ब्रह्मनिष्ठां समाहितः धारयन् श्रावयन् शृण्वन् द्वन्द्वैर्नैवाभिभूयते इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे भिक्षुगीतन्नाम त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीभागवत शरणं मम श्रीसद्गुरु शरणं मम श्रीसूता शरणं मम श्रीशुकदेव शरणं मम श्रीव्यास शरणं मम श्रीनारद शरणं मम श्रीकुमार शरणं मम श्रीब्रह्मा शरणं मम श्रीविष्णु शरणं मम श्रीपरब्रह्म शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम शरणं मम शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्त्ययं रसः अतपिबन्धु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चद करहिजद। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः। Dvija Uvacha. It's a must for all of us to continuously invoke the grace of Guru, Guru Tattva, Guru Parampara, and Bhagavan and all his avatara rupa. That's how we spend our some time every day in chanting these mantras, asking them to bless us to make this endeavor of ours of study of Shastra becoming fruitful, useful, and successful. Here in this chapter 23 of 11th Skandha, from the words of Dvija Bhikshu Geetam, what is said is the trace of dukkha is nowhere outside, but it is in our own mind. It's in the mind's fancy and imagination. It makes I the pure self separated from I the pure self and sustains me as a jiva and makes me dance to its own tunes of imagination's fancies, which later on give nothing but tiredness, exhaustion. Point one is that. Second one is what here he I the pure self like Akasha cannot be touched by anything. Second, exactly like Akasha, I the pure self, so vastly infinite that there is no possibility of any finitude in me. Thirdly, only in the finitude there is dukkha. In infinity there can't be dukkha. It is fullness, purnata. That purnata always is expressed as bliss or anand. So that self being me, I am just become miserable jiva only because of the tadatmya with the mana and all its dramas. So in this particular portion, last portion of Bhikshu Gita, kimatmanas tatra, by atmanah tatra kim means what is the involvement of the self in it? No involvement, then why you should suffer? Don't suffer. The sufferer are jiva. Drop jiva bhava, you won't have any suffering. Or disregard or discard or disown the suffering, you are no more jiva. Either of them you do. Don't say you are a jiva, suffering goes away. How do you say you are not a jiva? You are an atma, self which is untouched by all of them. Practice this. Or drop the dukkha, because dukkha belongs to the jiva, you are no more a jiva. Then you will be established in the self. Both the practices have to be continuously, constantly done. So, in this last portion, the probable list of dukkha giving sources are listed out, mentioned. Then told that from the Atma standpoint, they are all your own self. Have this knowledge and don't feel any dukkha. That was a examples given of one part of the body harming the other part, or the tongue is bitten by the teeth. So both are me. So don't say something is not me. If you say so, then it becomes dukkha. If something is me, it is not a dukkha. Even the situation is of that sort. Either have this approach of everything is me, or you say that whatever are the causes of dukkha, they are causing dukkha to that lower level of my own upadhis which are related to them and they have mutual relation. I have nothing to do. So leave both children to fight. You be free. Or own both of them, children, and just try to sort it out. टेक बोथ चिल्ड्रन इनटू कॉन्फिडेंस बड़े को बड़ा छोटे को मार रहा है या कुछ भी हो अरे नहीं करना कैसा करके देन छोटे को बोलना बट व्हाई डू यू इंस्टिगेट दैट एल्डर फेलो सो व्हाट डू you pacify both of them by taking into confidence both are my children. Sometimes when they grow little and not ready to listen to you, you say tum sort out karo, what can I do? So you are detached. In both cases you avoid your suffering by owning them and explaining them when they are available. By disowning or detaching or keeping away, in both cases be dukkha rahita. That we have to gain. So upadhis are working in the upadhi. Why are you getting identified? Simple. Second is, this upadhi is getting dukkha. Why? Because I think this is mine. Are that also is yours. Why do you disown that? Own that also, then the pain will not be there. Either own them both or disown them both, then be at your own happiness. Then partially owned, partially disowned. This drama is played by the mana. Means what? If you identify with upadhis, every upadhi must be you. Because behind every upadhi, Paramatma is one only. Then if you were disidentified with some upadhi as Shatru, then you must disidentify with this upadhi also. Why this partiality there? Who is creating that partiality? The sense of separation by in which something is called as aham mama, another is called as naham namama. That devil is called as mana. So only the job of the mana is to divide and destroy by saying something mine, by saying something not mine. And the one who follow that destructive ability of the mana of differentiation is the one who is caught up in the web or caught up in the daldal. He is called jiva. You are into be a jiva by getting bound by the trick of the mind of differentiation. Then you can't avoid dukkha, because when there is difference in which something is mine, something is not mine, definitely the mind will also trouble you by not listening to you. The not mine also completely instigate you for misery. You will suffer. सो मन कैसे कारण बन रहा है कि डिवाइड करके कि कुछ मेरा है कुछ मेरा नहीं है. और रिमेंबर व्हेन माइंड सेज कुछ मेरा नहीं है, फ्रॉम बोथ ऑफ देम देयर इज दुख. दैट्स व्हाट वी सेड यस्टरडे. इट इज नॉट फ्रॉम द शत्रु और द्वेष्य व्यक्ति दैट वी हैव दुख. इफ यू रियली ऑब्जर्व एंड ऑनेस्ट टू एक्सेप्ट द पर्सन whom towards you have raga love, from them only you have more dukkha. Not in the prema, in the raga. Where raga means where you have association, relation with somebody, expecting something from that person. That person gives more misery. You can't live also that person. Throughout life, you have an asha, expectation that one day or the other that person will change and listen to me, which will never happen, and you are continuously, perennially miserable. Raga. This also. Who is dividing somebody has mind, therefore have raga and lead to dukkha. Somebody has not mind, have dvesha and lead to dukkha is only in mana. And how the mana does all that is a big subject again. It has so many angles. All of them we study in every of our classes. So mana does sankalpa and expects some kamana, and whatever fulfill that kamana, it calls it as mitra or attached to mamata, and whichever is thwarting or disturbing the kamana, it creates it as enemy. First of all, mana unnecessarily becomes pandita, becomes aham and idam, whereas beyond the mana, like in the sleep, but not as ignorant sleeper, in the conscious sleeping, the infinite paripurna Shuddha Atma is there. The mind is such a small, insignificant jada, yet covers that infinite self like a small finger can cover the Lord's Sun. Can you keep it in front of your eye? इतना उंगली में एक कागज का टुकड़ा ऐसा लगा, your vision of sun is blocked from your eyes. Is it not? Such a small this mana. Mana is Maya. It has got avarana vikshepa. With avarana is concealing your self nature. With vikshepa, it is only projecting ahamidam. And at every moment in my own mind, wherever aham is there is Chaitanya Atma is there. Wherever idam is there also Chaitanya Atma is there. So Chaitanya Atma only playing the role of ahamidam called as mind. This wisdom the mind will not allow us to have. And what it does it? Idam is different, Ama is different. And continuous tussle and struggle between Aham and Idam. And Idam is divided by the Mana or Aham as Mama and Namama. Towards Mama Raga, towards Namama Dvesha. All that is in the mind only. Just transcend the mind like in sleep. You are in one common homogeneous experience. There are not two things. Either transcend the differentiation of the mind, go into one without second reality, or in all the differences, discover one only. In both cases, the dukkha goes away. And many a times देखो कुछ हुआ करके दुख कम होता है, किसने किया उसके कारण ज्यादा दुख होता है, और वो जिसने किया वो शत्रु है तो ज्यादा दुख है, जिसने मित्र किया तो इवन ट्राई टू फॉरगेट दैट दुख. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि यू इवन फॉरगेट और गिव अप दैट दुख फॉर द सेक ऑफ पर्सन, क्योंकि इफ आई बिकम दुखी ही विल बिकम दुखी, फॉर दैट पर्सन सेक even though it is painful you don't say. Like somebody stampeded your leg, if it is a shatru you become double painful than the leg pain, then you fight out with that fellow so much. But if it is a leg of your say very beloved, even the pain by that beloved stampeding your leg is more than the other fellow, still you act in such a way that कुछ नहीं हुआ, कुछ नहीं हुआ, दर्द हो रहा है वहाँ, but not taken into the mind, because this is my friend. So friend can kunjlo kundlao kuch bhi karo mere ko, and the enemy should not do even a kharoch. Where is it both happening? In the mind's conditioning only. And when inert thing does that, not a living being, we don't destroy that inert. Only for the children we say, है ना, कोई कुछ किसी जमीन से गिर कर चोट लगा, उसके खुशी के लिए जमीन को वैसा थोड़ा थप थप मारते हैं, ठीक है मैं उसको मारा, ठीक है वो बच्चा खुश हो जाता है, बट दैट इज, यू डोंट डू दैट. And some people do even that also. See, when they stampede and fall down, they take badla on that stone or brick. That is the highest foolishness. But in generally, toward the Jada Vastu, we have less. In the Chaitanya people who are our friends, we will convert the dukkha also dukkha rahita. But if they are enemy, even there is no dukkha, but we exaggerate it so much as if really so much. है कि नहीं? दोस्त चाकू खराब से भोंका भी हम उसको कुछ नहीं कहते. दुश्मन का कोई उंगली भी लगा, नाखून लगा, we call it as a big thing. No, why all these given example? It's all in the mind. Therefore, the ignorant mind, naughty mind, creates, maintains the dukkha. That mind, when it is under the control or guidance of a well matured intellect, it will prevent the dukkha. Even if it comes, it cures the dukkha immediately without allowing it to sustain for a long time. So have wisdom not to be miserable. Whenever you are miserable, you lost the wisdom. You are only at the imagination level of the mind. That's what Bhagavan Krishna told Arjuna. Panditaha na anushocanti. Ya shochati sa na panditaha sa murkha eva. So not even one arrow is shot. But Arjuna was as if he has fought the entire war, all his people killed, that side of people killed. He also got defeated, and all the Rajyam is gone. In such, as if such all this happened, he cried and he left all his Dhanurbana and sat at the upastha of this Rathaha. कुछ नहीं हुआ, लेकिन सब कुछ हुआ किधर? मन में. Is it not? But same Arjuna, after educated by Lord through Gita, सब कुछ हुआ एट द एंड ऑफ द वार, जिसके बारे में उसको डर था पहले, बट फिर भी मन में कुछ नहीं हुआ. युधिष्ठिरा सफर्ड बिकॉज ही डिडंट गेट गीता ज्ञान. सब कुछ हुआ लेकिन कुछ नहीं हुआ बिकॉज विजडम एट द एंड ऑफ वार. बिफोर द वार नथिंग हैपेंड बट एवरीथिंग हैपेंड एज इफ, बिकॉज विजडम वाज नॉट देयर, माइंड वाज इन दैट इमेज. They are my people. How can I kill them? They are worthy of worshipping. If I kill them, I go to the patanti narake ashucho ahobata mahatpapam kartum vyavasita vayam. What, not? And he gave all the wisdom to Krishna at the level of his own delusion of the mind. Bhagavan has said, cut off everything in one sentence. तुम जीतो वो जीतो भगवान जाने. Situation of war came, you have to stand for dharma, you are expected it out of from society, you do it, don't even expect any consequence. In one sentence he said. Behind that sentence he had all the ideas, that from the Atma standpoint there is no war at all, from the Jiva standpoint dies or not dead doesn't फर्क नहीं पड़ता उसके evolution में. As a jiva, this karma will give you phala, and according go to next word. This is dharma yuddha. If you die in this one, you go to swarga. If you win, you will become the king here. That's all jiva standpoint is talking. From their standpoint, you kill them or not. After some years, definitely they'll die. No body will remain. इससे उसको murder किया. Anyway, at the short span level, we say, how did he murder do and all. बड़ा case इसको फिर वो क्या कहते हैं ना, justified, brought it to justice, is given the capital punishment. But the fellow who was killed, he is not going to be eternal, even doesn't kill. अब नहीं तो 30-30 साल का तो मरेगा ही वो. That wisdom the liar should not use. The legal system is different. ऐसा हमने किसी को मारा नहीं तो वो बचेगा थोड़ी. इसका मतलब तो ये भी नहीं कि सबको मारते जाओ. So Lord knows the body will die, the jiva will travel, nothing happens to Atma. But all wisdom, whether fellow is available or not, let me give him the solution at one level. It's a dharma yudhya, you are a kshatriya, you are expected out of it. Therefore, reducing the effect of consequence in your mind, just fight the war, बाद में देखेंगे जो होगा. You are feeling everything without doing anything. Let us do everything, let us see what to feel. That wisdom Bhagavan gave. So here, say the self, I untouched by anything. The self out of the entire universe, when it gets identified with a set of Panchakosha, it became Jiva. To that identified Jiva, later on, everything appears to be different. In the differences, one is Raga Yukta friends, another is Dvesha Yukta enemy. Then through both of them, he goes on suffering. That is why only by Guru and God's Kripa, this will be understood by us that I'll be happy when the mind is peaceful. The mind is peaceful when both the Shatru and Mitra, both I don't have, even one. This will never be understood easily because we are at the Deha level, Indriya Sukha level. Some Mitras or people or some sources give us Sukha. Therefore, we tend to become Mitra towards them. And because of the Sukha Apeksha only, those who don't give or become obstruction toward them become inimical. Otherwise, the real happiness is in peace. The peaceful mind is that where is not even one Mitra or one Shatru. That is why throughout Gita, every chapter almost, or whenever occasion comes, to all these dvandvas, Bhagavan tells put a check and remain or maintain the samatha. Everywhere that is what. Is it not? Samashatrau cha mitre cha tata mana apamaneho shitosha sukha dukkeshu samasanga vivarjita. That is 12th chapter. He started in second chapter only. Sukha dukke same krutva, lava alabha same krutva, jaya jaya same krutva, yuddha yujasva. Surun mitra ridasina madhya sadhu shvabjavame samabuddhi. निर्दोषमे समम ब्रह्म तस्मात् ब्रह्मणिते समम सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं विनश्यत्स्व विनश्यन्तं यः पश्यति पश्यति समम पश्यन्ति सर्वत्र समवस्थितम् ईश्वरं न हि नस्ति आत्मनात्मनं ततो याति वराङ्गतिम् आत्मोपम्येन सर्वत्र समम पश्यति अर्जुन सुखं वा यद्वादिकं सहयोगी. Everywhere what is spoken is attain the happiness by getting the peace of mind by dissolving or devaluing those both opposites which create Vishamata. Bring Samatha. Another way of achieving Samatha is not accept everybody as friends. Don't say some is friends, some enemy, Vishamata ho gaya. Same in Bhajagovindam. Shatro mitre, putre bandhav, ma kuru yattam, vigraha sandhav. Then sarvasminavi pasya atmanam. Everywhere same Paramatma you see or see yourself. For the sake of Vyavahara, if we deal differentiation, that should not become seriously issue in you. That don't take truly the differentiation. That thing is not taught by others or today's situation, education may, which is most important than anything. They go to travel, somebody goes in car or scooter. The traveling is important. Because ज़्यादा पैसे कम है इसलिए उस कार में जा रहे हैं स्कूटर में जा रहे हैं. If you give importance to that, the biasness comes in your mind. So develop such a trait in yourself that all that Vishamata creating misunderstanding should be dropped and use the wisdom of Samatha. That's the only way by which we can transcend Raga Dvesha, transcend the disturbances of mind, bring the mind to peaceful mind. Then the mind peaceful is happy. अशांत से कुतः सुखम, शांति से ही सुख मिलता है. Everywhere that is the case. So self is ever one. Nobody can differentiate it into partialities. Mind is the Maya which takes charge of it by its own, बिना किसी को पूछे. Then it goes on creating, all pervading oneself. Mind says this is separate, that is separate. Is it not? Then becomes a cricket match between these two. Like same group of students 22, 11 एक टीम 11 टीम बन के लड़ते रहते. And if its sport exceeds the limit of sportiveness, they quarrel with each other, beat also. किल भी करते हैं एक दूसरे को, जो एक ही खेमे एक ही ग्रुप के थे 22 लोग. And when they stop all those nonsense sport, then shake hand, they mix with each other. One. So you are the self untouched by them. Them means what? Your own upadhi. Therefore, anything done by anybody whom you are calling a source of dukkha, they are doing only to the upadhi, not to you. That way separate. Otherwise, what? Don't take only this as you, take all of them are as you only. In the past, what happened? Taking this as you committed mistake to them, trouble to them. Then they are taking revenge. Who was that? The jiva ignorant person. But one need not continue as a jiva ignorant all the time. Anytime you can become Atma by discovering your identity self, anytime you can detach from the jiva bhava. And the process continues. What's that? Whatever is done by the upadhis, with the upadhi by jiva, if it has troubled the totality has to give a reciprocation, it will give to the upadhis. Like the upadhi of Parikshit did a mistake of putting the dead snake. Then the Rishiputra cursed the Upadhi. So that will definitely come and hit the Upadhi called as body. But the Jiva in him dissolved his identity with the Deha Adi and he discarded his oneself with the Paramatma. Nothing happened to him when the snake has bitten him, Takshaka. We will see at the end of this chapter, this entire Bhagavatam. Are you understanding how we have to free ourselves from the dukkha? Neither ragadvesha in the mind nor shatrumitra regarding people. Everyone is my own self or none is related to me. None includes our own, these upadhis also. The moment if you say I am the pancha koshas, immediately the other pancha koshas or the whole world will persecute it. It's a very high level of both intellectual logical understand as well as a yogic practice. What are the yogic practices? Then I will not touch it. It's a big subject. That this Deha is made by the Prithvi. So all the five Mahabhutas, the other also Prithvi. In the Yoga Shakti, when you identify the Prithvi Tattva, then this Prithvi and that Prithvi is you alone. There was that Prithvi giving this to something, this that Prithvi troubling this. You don't feel the differentiation. That is what Yoga Shakti. So too in the body there is a Jala Tattva. Outside also is Jala Tattva. Through Yoga Sadhana, when you identify the Jala here, the Jala there, both are you only. Therefore that Jala troubling this Jala or that Jala helping this Jala, that differentiation goes away. That's all Yoga. In Vedanta, Aham Sakshi Tiyo Vidvan Vivichayam Punah Punah. I am witness even to this कोशास इवन टू व्हाट क्या इसी का विटनेस हूँ उसके बाद और कुछ करने कोई जरूरत नहीं. So this is what was the topic being discussed yesterday. Janastu hetu sukha dukkhayoschet kim atmanah cha atrahi bhaumayoh tat. If you think the jana are the hetu of sukha dukkha, they are only doing to this deha, that also is deha. Both of them belong to the bhauma, the bhumi, the panchamahabhuta only. Why do you worry? Jihvam koche sandashati. The teeth are biting the tongue. Both belong to one category only. One need not. Do we really become angry with that Vedana? Dukkha is there, but you don't become angry there. Second is दुख से तो यदि देवता है तो अरे देवताओं का ही विकार है सारे इंद्रिया whichever are gaining sukha or dukkha. तो ये दोनों एक कैटेगरी का है. Same way angam angena nihanyate. When one anga does the hananam of the other anga, you don't feel krudhyata kasmai. Like when you are putting a nail on the wall. So when you hold the nail and hit it, sometime that nishana chukke, instead of the nail of the iron, the nail of the finger is hit. हुआ होगा आपको ऐसे काम अभी कभी किए क्या? आजकल कोई काम धंधा करता ही नहीं. We did all these natak childhood में. Everything, almost so many. Any example it is, I remember all that. तो कुछ हैंग करना है तो कील ठोकते हैं, छोटा सा कील है वो, एक ही यहीं जब मिला संभव, ठोकने के टाइम हथौड़े हथौड़े भी होता है नहीं था, पत्थर से करते थे. लेटर ऑन ऑल द हैमर एंड ऑल, कभी कभी ताले से ही. अब क्या है ना, वो इधर उधर कोई बुलाया, अटेंशन इधर हो गया, एकदम ठकाक उंगली पे लगा. दर्द इज देयर caused by this hand, but you don't take the hand with roll stone with the other hand and hit that hand. करते हो क्या है? जिस हाथ को लगा वो हाथ ने भी हथौड़ा लेकर, जिस हाथ ने मारा उसको, कभी भी हुआ क्या ऐसा? नेवर हैपेंस. इवन दिस हैंड ही गोज एंड ट्राइज टू पैसिफाई दैट वन, ऐसा कुछ करता है. एंड दिस हैंड ओनली डज ऑल आइंटमेंट एंड एवरीथिंग. दैट इज वन anga hits the other anga, huh? You don't feel it. Though pain, but there is no enmity. पेन इज देयर बिकॉज व्हेन यू आर डूइंग सम कर्म, सारे कर्म में दुख ही अंत रिजल्ट होगा. मॉर्निंग वी स्टडी इन वन ऑफ द टेक्स्ट, सम विष्णु नहीं नॉट वेदांत, वन ऑफ द टेक्स्ट स्टडीड एवरी कर्मास अल्टीमेट रिजल्ट दुख. इन मांडुक्यो, इन तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद भाष्य में से कर्मणः कर्तृत्वस्य दुख रूपत्वात्. आई रिमेंबर नो कौन से टेक्स्ट में क्या है, आई डोंट रिमेंबर. Kartrutva dukkha rupa, when a karta does some karma, it will definitely give dukkha. Because while doing karma only, forgot his Ananda Swarupa. Other than Ananda, what is there is dukkha, definitely you left the Ananda Tattva identification. Definitely what you are going to get is dukkha. So devatas and devatas giving infliction are to their own vikara only. दोनों एक ही कैटेगरी के हैं. And another little devotional help is what? Help through the devotional understanding. No devata just like us troubles us. He will be punished. Each devata post is given to those evolved souls who cannot have any ego selfishness to trouble. Only when the jivas were given the faculties do some mischiefs through his upadhis, indriyas, those adhisthana devatas, to set them right, they give some treatment. Like why the doctor gave the kadwad medicine, why he gave the injection, why he cut apart and operated, why he did that rule patyam of don't eat, don't eat, don't eat this. In all these instructions, there's no biasness, bitterness, even one thought of troubling us. Though he is doing everything which is troubling us, but his intention is not to trouble. Then what that is expression of his love for us, expressed as a treatment for that roga. Roga we got by some or the other misdoing. So to we get the roga by doing some nonsense. So devatas, like the doctors, they give the due treatment for us to get out of that bimari. Like that's why the biggest blessings in the life creation of Lord, especially the body level, is the diseases, pains. If you can understand it, you have understood why the Lord gives pain. Because in the body, if the pains and diseases are not there, you will never know those things which have entered the body, which are the cause for the destruction of the body. Pain is a sort of alertness, a alarm, a siren, to say that something's happening which is destructive to your deha. If that is not given to us, then we are not even aware of it. They mari jate hain dekhte dekhte. Some silent diseases, they kill us. Very less. But Bhagavan gives such dukkha, such pain, that we become alert of it. Pain is the biggest blessing in the human life, if one can understand. And the amount of knowledge, wisdom forgotten in the pleasure is exactly contrast to the amount of the knowledge and awareness grows when there is a pain. दुख में ही हम सब भगवान को स्मरण करते हैं, सारा ज्ञान भी बाहर आता है. सुख में किसी को ना भगवान याद आते ना नॉलेज है. These are all we have to understand it. So devatas have troubled me to teach me only. Devatas all the trouble they give to is देहेंद्रिय मनोबुद्धि संघाता. वो ये उन्हीं का विकार है, वो अपने आप को रिपेयर कर रहे हैं. इट्स वेरी हाई लेवल ऑफ matured understanding leading to detachment. So devatas have given the faculties. These faculties misbehaved. Devatas are treating. I, the self, has nothing to do. Kim atmanaha. है ना, क्रुध्येत कस्मै सही कर्म मूल नहीं, क्या कहे वो, किमात्मना च अत्र ही भौमयोस्तत् हो गया. देन किमात्मनः तत्र विकारयोः तत्. बोथ आर द विकार ऑफ द सेम. Yesterday I explained exhaustively. I am not taking that topic. Both the Adhisthana Devatas and Indriya, all of them came from one Mahatattva, one Samashti Ahankara. Then it divided into three Ahankaras, and functionally they are doing. Basically, both are same. That also will help us philosophy. Then Angamangena Nihanyate is explained. Now, Atma Yadisya Sukha Dukkha Hetuhu Kim Anyatha Tatra Nija Swabhavaha. If your own Atma is the cause of your own Sukha Dukkha, then how can you feel Sukha Dukkha there? Because your own Atma it is. It is a bhavana practice. What a bhavana practice it is? I myself am the cause of my own dukkha. Therefore, you can be the cause of your own removal of dukkha. In this way, bhavana karke sukh dukh se dur ho ja sakte. It's a very effective sadhana, this one, more than all other. Many a times we blame others as cause of dukkha sukha. We get attached and aversion. But when we become responsible for it, then we become matured. Here, Atma, what I mean is our own individual self. What is said here, the pure self. Both we have to understand. I the self, I the jiva. If I the jiva is the cause, then rectify it your level only. If I am the Atma cause, answer given here as well. Nahi Atmana Anyada. Hare yaar, how can Atma give to dukkha to itself? To give dukkha, somebody else must be there. There is nobody other than the Atma. If at all that body is there, that is Mrushasyatu. Kurudyeta kasmat. How can you become? And actually in the Atma, which is a blissful self, na sukham na dukkham, उसमें ना सुख है ना दुख है. अब कैसे you are becoming Kurudyeta? So these are all removal of the misunderstanding, ignorances and delusions with right understanding. I am the Atma, my Swarupa is Ananda. Clear? Nobody can disturb my Ananda. If somebody has to disturb my Ananda, he must be there. But other than the Atma, there is no other thing. If at all it is there, it is Murusha. How can a Murusha thing give me dukkha? With his wisdom, I should drop that imagination that I am Dukhi. Dukhi is an imagination of the mind to seek sympathy and all. That's why any happy person, any moment can become Dukhi out of imagination. Any Dukhi person can kick away his Dukkha and feel he is comfortable because that was imagination. These are all again different ways. We are not going into that angle. So, other people are cause of Dukkha, Devatas are cause of Dukkha, your own self is the cause of Dukkha. How to answer them? By being identified with the self, disowning both. The one who's on whom the Dukkha happened and the one who. Like when in a street fight. The ईट मारने वाला और मार खाने वाला दोनों स्ट्रीट राउडी है, तो यू डोंट really involve in that. But if one of them is your son, immediately you become dukhi. Your children or your known people. Is it not? Luckily, from the Atma standpoint, nothing belongs to us, the pure self. Therefore, one can need not involve in anything happening to all these upadhis. Our problem is not when something happens outside. Our problem is when something happens to our own देहेंद्रिय मन संघात. उसको कुछ हुआ तभी हम दुखी होते हैं. क्यों? इसके प्रति अहंता ममता ज्यादा है. ज्यादा है मतलब होना ही नहीं चाहिए एक्चुअली. नाउ नेक्स्ट वन. ग्रहा निमित्तं सुख दुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनोजस्य जनस्य ते वै ग्रहैर्ग्रहस्येव वदन्ति पीडां रुध्येत कस्मै पुरुषस्ततोऽन्यः. Now it's a very, very high level of subject. Little hint I will give, that much is enough. Ki, whatever the Dehendra Mana Buddhyadi we have at our Vyashti level. Remember, all of this is nothing but a part and parcel of the total only. In the total, all the grahas, nakshatras, tarakas, Surya, Chandra, all of them come. Therefore, these all belong to them only. That's what in Bhagavata Purana, in the beginning portions, at the time of how the Sushti came into manifestation, all of these were taught. Is it not? From the eyes of Bhagavan, the Surya came. From the Surya Bhagavan, our eyes came. Is it not? From the ears of Bhagavan, the Digdevatas came. From the Digdevatas, our hearing ability came. From the nostril of the Bhagavan, the Vayu came. From the Vayu, our smelling ability came. From the tongue of the Bhagavan, the Varuna Deva came. From Varuna Bhagavan, our tasting ability came. Is it not? From Bhagavan's Maya Shakti through the subsequent grossification, Panchamahabhuta made. From Panchamahabhuta only this Stula Deha made. You understand? In this way, we never are separate from the total. The prana shakti in me is the prana of the total. The jala is the jala of the total. The agni is the total agni only, which is that which belongs to me, separate from the total. मरी जाओगे तुम. Every second continuous interchange, exchange, transaction of the inner and outer are happening for the sustenance of inner. आउटर हवा निरंतर अंदर जा रहा है, इसलिए मैं जिंदा हूं. आउटर टेम्परेचर इज कंटिन्यूसली एंटरिंग, इसलिए मैं जिंदा हूं. पानी रोज पीते हैं, नहीं तो मरते हैं. पानी नहीं है तो मर जाते हैं. सूखा बंदा, ड्राइड, नो वाटर. गर्मियों में people died. In Badri Kedar also, 32 people died out of oxygen deficiency in last 10 days. Without proper medical checkup, they took a chance. But वहाँ oxygen deficiency बहुत होता है. Anyway, what is said is what? The matter with which the grahas are made. With the same matter, these grahas also are made. That is why the grahas have their influence in all these matter, stula as well as sukshma. Sukshma matter is manobuddhi chitta ahankara. Stula matter is the body with these seven items in this. In between them, the jnanendriyas, कर्मेंद्रियास. इन सबका वो टोटल से इनका संबंध है. Therefore, what is said here is कि ग्रहैर ग्रहस्य एव वदन्ति पीडाम. So they are mutually doing to it. Why will I worry? Krudhyeta kasmai purusha tata anya. I am a purusha who is anya. Then how and on whom I can become krodhya? Krodha, क्यों आएगा? Krodha includes the dvesha and all. Suffering, misery. It can't. Now see how difficult it is to get out of identity with upadhi. Therefore, difficult to get out of dukkha. But if by these viveka, these type of viveka vicharana, when I discover I am a sakshi bhuta atma to all of them, with that when I detach from the panchabhuta upadhis, all dukkha goes once for all. That's what a car example I gave yesterday. When the car is sold, next day उसका accident हो गया, you laugh it only and say thank God मैंने कल बेच दिया. वो एक दिन पहले होता है ना बेचने से पहले, दुख का वुड बी डबल, क्योंकि मैं कल ही बेचना चाह रहा था, अब इसको कौन खरीदेगा. Tomorrow I want to sell the car, today it's broken, who will buy it? That's double dukkha. But you sold the car yesterday, today something happened to us, double the sukha. One, I sold it, मेरा पैसा मेरे को आ गया. Second, thank God अभी मेरा नहीं है कि उसको चोट लगा, I need not worry. How? The same is with upadhis. See how much sadhana we do, how long will take to do sadhana and get out of upadhi. That is secondary, that is your choice. Depending on that, your liberation, freedom is there. But concept understanding karna intellectually, वो तो तुरंत करना चाहिए. What is that concept understanding? As long as upadhi tadatma is there, upadhis have give and take with the other upadhi. Therefore, it will have sukha dukkha. And in that, if you want sukha, it can't come one. Dukkha also will come with it too. Therefore, to get rid of both sukha dukkha, which are only the lot of the upadhi, the only way is I have to detach from the upadhi. This sentence we have to blindly, bluntly accept. If you don't accept that, you will never even try to come out of samsara. In other words, our efforts to come out of sukha dukkha will never be in correct direction. It will even add up only. But when this knowledge is there, if not now, at least after 10,000 lives, you will start to detach from the upadhi. Though it took so much time, but it is a pakka result. Because the knowledge made you do that sadhana of detaching from the upadhi. If the knowledge is not accepted, then in the upadhi only you try to repair it. It will never happen. एक प्रॉब्लम दूसरे को, एक दूसरे को, जैसे ना सेकंड हैंड कुछ भी खरीदो तुम, कुछ किया तो दूसरा, क्यों? क्योंकि जिसने भेजा हो इसलिए तो भेजा है, वो हमको भेजा नहीं है, वो इसलिए समझते नहीं है. If it is intact in all aspects, why will he sell? He sold away some garbage when you take it. Interesting. Now comes karma hetu sukha dukkhayor vai. Now very interesting. If you say the karma is the cause of sukha dukkha, kim atmanahata? What is the problem to the atma when the karma is the cause of sukha dukkha? Now there are 2-3 analyses that are told here. Listen carefully. What is karma? Jada jadatve. A jada jada sambandha, jada jada mixture of jiva does the karma where both jada and chaitanya both are there. है ना? Chaitanya, conscious intellect should be there. Jada, the vastus are there in which with which we do the karma. जड़ा वस्तु चैतन्य मन, मन भी चैतन्य जड़ा है लेकिन अभी चैतन्य था, मन को मिला. Therefore is active, dynamic, it is thinking, planning, all sankalpa. So let us for the timing call the mana is chaitanya yukta. Though chaitanya is atma, mana is jada. वो separation will do later on. But for the sake of discussion or explanation, mana is chaitanya and vastu is jada. ये दोनों मिलो तो ही काम होता है, कर्म. So jada chaitanya mishra karma done by Jada Chaitanya Mishra Jiva. Jada Chaitanya Mishra Jiva is Shuddha Chaitanya of the Atma, then the Prakritika Jada Antakarana together become the Jiva. So that Chit Jada Granthi is Jiva. That they say. So Chit Jada Granthi Jiva is doing karma with the Chit Yukta Mana and Jada Yukta Vastus. Okay. Karma hatu hetu sukha dukkha yorvai kim atmanah tadhi jada jadatve. Then when that is happening, why the Atma is Shuddha Chaitanya should feel any attachment with that? No, very interesting. Second, Deha tu Achitu. The Deha with which karmas are done, minus Paramatma, it is Achit Jada only. Then Purusha Hayam Suparnaha. I am Purusha to Suparna. Suparna is consciousness. The self in me is pure consciousness, in which not even trace of Jadata is there. The Deha is so much Jada, in that there is no trace of even consciousness is there. How can you become Krudyeta? Actually, nahi karma moolam. What is to be discovered is, it's in delusion only the karma is possible, otherwise karma moola is not there. Only two aspects. Karma is possible when the Jada Chetana come together. And Jada Chetana come together is impossible. That's what he says, nahi karma moolam. What is the meaning there, nahi karma moolam? There is some phenomena is happening, but don't call it as karma. If you call it as karma, immediately it leads to phala. Like electricity is illuminating the bulb. Is it a karma? No karma, it's a phenomena happening there. Neither the bulb is elated, jumping with joy, thank God मेरे अंदर बिजली आया, मैं glow कर रही हूँ. Nor the electricity says, see, I have achieved it, that I made the bulb glow. It's only phenomena. There is no karma in that. Everything in the world is a phenomena happening when two things come together. But when I add my kartrutva to it, it becomes karma. Because I added my kartrutva to it, the phala happens to come to me. That's why when I put on the switch, the light glows. I, the karta, I say, मैंने switch डाला. But the electricity never says कि मैंने बिजली को या बल्ब को जलाया. Actually, who is the main doer? The electricity only. Without electricity, जितना भी तुम switch बजाओ बजाओ बजाओ, without electricity तो glow होगा ही नहीं वो. एक्चुअल करता तो वो है, बट वो क्लेम नहीं करता. हम कुछ नहीं करते, सिर्फ स्विच डालते हैं और बोलते सब कुछ मैंने किया. इसलिए करंट बिल आपको आता है, करंट को नहीं आता. यू आर द कर्ता, therefore you are the भोक्ता. Nowadays the bill is so much. This month when I saw the electricity bill, अभी पे नहीं किया. So much it was. 8 hours every day our classes, 6, 7, with so many things there. So, are you understanding? Nahi karma moolam is the highest discovery. By saying this, that Vija or Bhikshu Bhagavan and Bhagavan Krishna giving a chance, can we raise ourselves to this highest level of understanding that in the pure conscious self there is no possibility of having karma. Therefore, nahi karma moolam. ये चांस दिया जा रहा है हमको, अगर हम अपने उस लेवल तक जा सकते हैं तो. In this world, things are happening. There is no karta. That's why Bhagavan appears to be doing everything, but he is not a karta. That's why he is not a bhokta. Therefore, he is not a jiva. Therefore, there is no sukha dukkha to him. Therefore, he is not a samsari. Therefore, there is no bandhana to him. Highest level it is. That's why Bhagavan Krishna and Gurudev all say, Maha Manusmara Yuddhesha means what? Establish yourself in the identity with the self, which is not a doer. Yuddhacha. After that, even that yuddha be done by you, but you are not the doer of that, it happened through you. You become only nimitta there, not a karta. So the doctor establishes himself in a medical professional whose basic nature is love, kindness, concern for the patient. That is his Svabhava Swarupa Atma. Having stationed in that, he does the karma of the operation. Whether operation is successful or failure, he will not become a karta bhokta of that. Salary aspect is different. That he should not take actually as a doctor. दिया तो ले लो, नहीं तो नहीं. Fulfillment is only in curing the patient. Sometimes क्या होता है ना, operation failed but still patient is alive. To be taken for another operation somewhere. Some other place, operation successful, patient collapsed. Why he could not take that operation? Operation अच्छा हो गया लेकिन बंदा मर गया. कुछ भी हो सकता है, because all you are dealing with such delicate things and all. And more than all that, बंदा मरना है तो कुछ क्या, इवन भगवान भी नहीं, वो नहीं रोक सकते उसको, जीना है भगवान भी मरना है. They are all non-medical, metaphysical things. That we will not discuss, but doctor's purity. So to I am the self. In the self there is no karma. Therefore I am not the karta. Okay. So the kartrutva is temporarily taken by me for doing a dharmic useful karma. After that, the kartrutva, the karma, the instruments involved in the karma, phala expected, everything is offered to Lord. That's why karomi yadya sakalam parasmahi narayana is sarva. That become upasana. That leads to antakarana shuddhi. That become adhyatmika sadhana. There is no creation of vasana. There is no karma phala binding you in such activities. Like that, every activity when we do like that, the whole life become upasana, antakarana shuddhi. No new vasanas are added. Existing go away. Along with that, because such a beautiful healthy habit, there is no regrets or remorses or expectation or disappointment. ये सब खचरा मन से wholesale निकल जाएगा. Then you become so calm, quite peaceful that the self is so self-evident. The moment you sit for meditation, it doesn't take time for the mind intellect to settle, and that self which is beyond to visualize it. I am telling all this from this sentence, nahi karma moolam. हाँ कर्मासु हेतु सुख दुःखयोर्वै किम आत्मनः तद ही जड़ा जड़त्वे. देह तो अचित, देह इज अचित, वो अपने आप तो कर्म नहीं करेगा. पुरुषः सुपर्णः Consciousness need not to do karma. The body need not work. The self cannot work. Or body cannot work, self need not work. Then who is working? The one who is a pseudo individual who has taken Chaitanya from the Atma and took the Jada for the work. This is Jada Granthi Jiva is doing. No, these are the things which should be taught toward the end of 11th Skandha. That's why they came here, these topics. Because Bhagavan is concluding all his Upadesham in few chapters. Highest of the philosophy is giving here now. See, at the highest level, in the pure consciousness, it is so infinite, there is no karma possible in it. For doing a karma, there should be jada padartha. There is no jadata only in that. What karma can be done? You can't do a karma without a jada vastu. Because on that only the karma is done, using that. This is how karma tu eto sukha dukkhayor vai kima atmanatati jada jadatve deha tu achit purushoyam suvarna krudyate kasmin ei karma. Matlab, by discovering yourself as a self, by uprooting the moola of the karma, drop all the discussion that I did this karma expecting that phala to give me sukha, but I couldn't do this karma, or the karma I did, but the expected phala did not come. Instead of sukhi, I became dukhi. All that wholesale select and throw it. Who can do that? The one who is free in his antakarana, free from vasanas, who is discovering ananda only in the self. To that person who has got matured with his viveka vairagya, he will not indulge in the world through any karma. There was no disappointment to him. That's why the great saints, when they discover themselves, they don't enter into any karma. First night's night. Some saints like Gurudev, they come but with full kavacha. They are in this level. They identify, root themselves in the pure self and allow the upadhis to work. And that according to the nature or prakriti or samashti or the Ishvara or in the interest of the people, carefully they do. Therefore, every action of theirs, though they are not the actors, doesn't give them any result of sukha dukkha to bind them, but it becomes a blessedness to the world. They are called Mahanatmas. एक दिन में नहीं होगा ये. These things have to be heard again and again, again, and then only in the time's maturity and our own maturity, and in the through the prayers to God and Guru, when they bless us with that very sharp, subtle, high level, well matured intellect, these things are understood. That I am the self, I am infinite self. In me, I need to gain nothing, therefore I need to do nothing. In fact, karma phala, karma, kartrutva, all of them are neither required nor possible in me. These all topics came in Mandukya Upanishad. In that last of the Prakaranas, Alata Shanti, these things came, we discussed. Neither required nor desired nor possible. In the self for the presence of the duality, that was the topic. Neither required nor desired nor possible. In the Ekameva Advayam Brahma, the Dvaita, not possible. If it all is made possible, you are in delusion. And that's what is causing dukkha. What is the most miserable aspect of ignorance and samsara is, in the impossible dukkha atma, means atma in which dukkha is impossible, we are making it possible. सबसे बड़ा जादू में जादू क्या है? In the sukha swarupa atma, we are imagining dukkha. Just like in the impossible, in the rope which can never be possible to become a snake, we are able to see the snake and its consequence of fear. By nature, never the rope became snake. कभी हो ही नहीं सकता. But you are such a genius, you and I, in our twilight time of ignorance, semi-consciousness, see the snake and get bitten by it and bhago. That's the power of our ignorance, power of Maya, power of delusion, which you have to conquer by insisting upon only the Atma Jnana. See, that's why everywhere see Paramatma, see the Atma, and discover the Atma in you. Detach from the Anatma. This has to be continuously done inside. Outside व्यावहारिक नाटक करने दो. That should not be disturbed. उसका इसका संबंध ही नहीं है. You understand how much our spiritual organization you are in doing high level of spiritual activities has nothing to do with your sadhana. Sadhana is totally different and internal. Whether you are in the absolute worldly work or you are in absolute seeming spiritual work, in both cases you can be a seeker, you may not be a seeker. That's what yogaratova, bhogaratova, sangaratova, sangavina. What is important? Yasya brahmani ramate chittam, saha eva nandati nandati nandati. Where you are is your external obligations, duties. Where is your attention is your internal sadhana. Yasya chittam brahmani ramate, he alone is nandati. Other fellow will only be miserable. That's why you see in the world seemingly so much spiritual, but then not even one step put forward in sadhana. Other people never go to any Shastra study, satsang, but they are steadily growing. Difference is what? In the first person, externally he is doing everything, but Atma Anusandhanam is not doing. Atma Anusandhanam. The other fellow, he is not involved in anything, but is, Atma Anusandhanam. He will get the self. But the person's spiritual activities will put him in touch with that. If he uses it for the purpose, knowing the purpose, he will be quickly reaching. Quickly is not in comparison to anyone. In his own pursuit, he will without delay reach the self. So all my spiritual activity should help me for my spiritual sadhana. Then my sadhana becomes quicker. Only when I think like that. If I don't mind the sadhana at all, and I do all spiritual sadhana, spiritual activity for impressing the people, for getting name and fame, for becoming popular in the world, then all this will come, but not Paramat. He is like any Vyapari, any other outside worker. Anusandhanam I am talking about here. हो गया नहीं कर्म मूला. Be established in the self, then you are happy without doing anything. And in the samsara, you do everything except happiness, you will get only misery. अज्ञान दशा में संसार में सब करते हैं लेकिन सुख नहीं मिलता. ज्ञान दशा में आत्मानुभव में कुछ नहीं करते लेकिन आनंद मिलता है. Lot of fill up the blanks and gaps are there, I know, but at least the sentences can be little impressing and informative. But this mind is the fellow who makes us forget the self, makes us become a jiva identified upadhi, and makes us do all the funny activities in which it promises the sukha. इसलिए जिंदगी में कभी किसी का प्रॉमिस को नहीं मानना. बिकॉज कोई प्रॉमिस करने से झूठ सच नहीं बोलता, सच झूठ नहीं होता. सच सच है, झूठ झूठ है, उसके लिए प्रॉमिस करने की जरूरत नहीं है. When you go to a shop, you ask him, he said, promise मैं कह रहा हूँ कि बढ़िया है. He is only saying, you can't believe it because it's an experience only which can tell it is right or wrong. But if the promise, he tries to sell the object by saying so. अब आपको भी खरीदने की इच्छा है, इसलिए आप ले ही लेते हो. But the fact when you consume it or use it, then only you'll know it. That time it is independent of a promise it is done or not done. द चीज गुड अच्छा था इसलिए नहीं कि उसने प्रॉमिस किया है. चीज अच्छा था इसलिए अच्छा है. ट्रुथ इज ऑन इट्स ओन स्ट्रेंथ. इट डजंट रिक्वायर एनी प्रतिज्ञास. Is it not? In the world, nothing. What I am saying here is the mind is promising us sukha in the vastus. And we are ignorant fellow going behind that, forgetting that we are Ananda Swarupa. Many times it happens. You observe the monkeys. You must have seen it. This monkey is eating nice fruit there. The other fellow is eating another one. This fellow is so jealous of that fellow. ये अपना खाते हुए छोड़कर उसका लेकर खाएगा. And it is such a tasteless thing. All the dogs, etc. also. They leave what they are having. They go for the other. So do we all do. Leave our India beautiful and go to America to become happy. All these examples are only to say, leaving the Atma Sukha, we are trying to search out Sukha which is never there in the Anatma. देखो, very funny. That's all mind only. If the mind dissolved and Atma Ananda found, you are a true, genuine, matured person. If the mind is aggressive, projecting Sukha in the Anatma, pushing us towards that, it is only destining our end to only the doom or destruction. Okay? हो गया इस तरह से. Now, what else next happened? कालस्तु हेतुः सुखयुक्खयोश्चेत् किमात्मनस्तत्र तदात्मकोऽसौ नाग्ने निहितापो न हिमस्य तत्स्यात् क्रुध्येत कस्मै न परस्य द्वन्द्वम्. So this is again a very heavy loaded shloka. If I start it now, it will take half an hour to explain. Literal meaning I will tell. Again, I thought today I will conclude the chapter, but नहीं हुआ तो नहीं हुआ. मेरे हाथ में क्या है? प्रभु इच्छा है. Something तो we are discussing, some thoughts we are anyway learning. तो काला तो हेतु सुख दुख यो चेत. Interesting. If sukha dukkha hai to kala hai. No timings, the bad timings. All these are discussed in the first sloka only. नायम जनो में सुख दुख हेतु हो न देवतात्मा ग्रह कर्म काला मनः परम कारण मामनंति संसार चक्रम परिवर्तयेद यथु. That's how the first sloka. That is what is explained in between. Then towards the end, in the 8-9 slokas, each one is taken up and given us. We are given a idea both to logically understand and reject that these are the cause of sukha dukkha. But that is not the main goal of our Brahmana here. His goal is something higher. What is that? Don't discard this or that fellow as cause of sukha and dukkha. Then discard these causes as well as sukha dukkha by identifying with the self. In the self, there is no cause of sukha, there is no cause of dukkha. There is no sukha dukkha. That is the ultimate goal. So that is why toward the end, Bhagavan Krishna says, whoever studies the Bhikshu given Brahma Vidya. He says it, I think some word is used by him, I don't remember it. ब्रह्मनिष्ठाम ये एताम भिक्षुना गीताम ब्रह्मनिष्ठाम. अरे यहाँ ब्रह्मनिष्ठ किधर है? He is talking in every sloka atmana atmana. So here what are the 4 things that are there? Neither the graha karma kala manushya the dukkha hetu, nor your antakarna is dukkha hetu, nor you the jiva identified were the dukkha hetu. What is dukkha hetu? Accept not knowing the self is the dukkha hetu. Then know the self in the knowledge of self. Neither jiva is there, nor mana is there, nor mana projected devata graha karma kala is there, nor the relativity with them is there, nor some initiative is there, nor the result of that dukkha is there. Kuch nahi hai. That's called paratmanishta or brahmanishta. Kimatmana, kimatmana, kimatmana. Therefore, here it is not a removal of dukkha temporary basis. Not only dukkha removal, but it is permanent dukkha removal and permanent sukha dukkha removal, permanent ananda prapti. How? By discovering the self. So attention is on the self here. I, the pure self, which is very sublime. Unfortunately, fortunately, the self cannot be objectified, cannot be brought out and put in front. देख तुम्हारा आत्मा, देख तेरे संसार के हालत क्या हो गई भगवान, करना बदल गया. You can sing the song. भगवान says मेरी आज आत्मा है, मैं खेल रहा हूँ. बढ़िया गाना है, सुनो कभी. भगवान says मेरा संसार क्या है, मैं ही वो हूँ. I have no problem with me. My extension is my world. So sab I enjoy. Anyway, I am explaining the fallacy in the song from Atyanta spiritual standpoint. But what is topic here is what? Unless we discover the self in us, there is no redemption from the sukha dukkha samsara, which are at the not self level. मानो या ना मानो, जानो या ना जानो, करो या ना करो, आपका ही इच्छा है, तुम्हारी इच्छा. And you see, from this beginning of creation till now, even the future, all the saint sages who discovered the self, thereby who discovered the infinite bliss, they'll have same song repeated only. They go on singing also the Atma Geetam, Bhikshu Geetam. Whoever are little matured level and understand it, then they come to it and they realize. You and I are given this opportunity now. And we are all going through such a dukkha, sukha, so much of displeasures, pleasures. Every moment, every day it's happening. हमको उसे fed up होना है. Then ask question, what to do? Slowly focus your attention only on this self. And to make us focus our attention on the self, Bhagavan is giving six classes per day. We are specially chosen by Him. Maybe because we are so lucky that He is blessing us, or maybe we are so stupid that He had to attend to us with 6 classes. Like, doctor will attend the patient for both the reasons. If too much doctor is taking interest in the patient, the two reasons are: one is that fellow must be such a pathetic condition, therefore he'll have to monitor. Other thing is, he's such a loving friend of him. He want to attend every moment and take care of him. Again, if the patient is very close to doctor, वो डॉक्टर तो पेशेंट को अपने चेम्बर में बिठाएगा, इतना प्यार है. या इज ऑलमोस्ट गोइंग टू डाई, वेरी सीरियस केस. हमारा क्या है भगवान जाने. वी आर ए वेरी सीरियस केस ऑफ एनी टाइम डाइंग, और वी आर सो लविंग टू द गॉड, but he is visiting us 6 times a day through 6 classes. So how much we make use of it, it is in our own hands. देखो, कुछ करे बिना कुछ नहीं होता. इसलिए जो हो रहा है उसके तहत खुद भी जो करना है करते रहे, तो जो होना जरूर हो जाएगा. और क्या करना है? फर्स्ट थिंग इज बी रेगुलर इन क्लास. Second, come to class with quite alert mind. Third, try to catch in the class only at least few beautiful thoughts. Fourth, if possible, spend some more time in contemplation, manam, and become thorough in the subject. Subject of Atmanatma Vivachara, subject of Bandha Moksha Vichara, subject of Adhyatmic Sadhana. Then you start whatever you can. You take your own yearly plan. In this 1 year, I'll detach myself from Deha Tadatmya. In the next 1 year, I'll try to detach from my Prana Kosha Tadatmya. This is how you can, anything, see, ये सब कोई भी पक्का नहीं है, कोई फुल प्रूफ नहीं है, कोई बिना शॉर्ट कमिंग फॉल्स का नहीं. बट एक संकल्प लेने से, संकल्पबद्ध when we become, there's an initiative, there's a beginning, there's a joy of doing and joy of achieving. All the tapasvins do that. Till Bhagavan comes, I'll not leave this mantra, or I'll stand on one leg. That commitment brought the Lord to them. And that commitment made them do the thing in such a way that Lord had to come. In the same way, committed effort. Tomorrow we'll see in our Shanti Mantra in Mandu. In Taittiriya Upanishad and all, you will see all those pratignas. Rutam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami. Beautiful. Okay, we'll stop today. Let us study Hanumanji for some time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bol. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Okay. Yes. Take out Hanumat Charitra.